Branding. What creates a brand? A brand is a name, term, design, symbol, or any other feature that identifies one seller's goods or services as distinct from those of other sellers. Your customer's experience with your brand is so much more than a logo or the products you sell, although those are two important parts of an overall brand identity. Creating branded elements is crucial for not only cohesive brand identity, but recognition in the marketplace. This will eventually lead to strong and lasting brand loyalty from your customers lasting years and even generations to come. The components of brand identity are such: name, logo, color, typography, imagery, shapes, graphics, and slogans. All these are essential parts to a brand identity, and each of these essential categories make up important pieces to your brand's puzzle and will inform your customers about who you are, what you do, why you're a trusted option, and why they should remember you for the next time. Before you bring any product or service to market, establish these important branding components first. Name. What's in a name? Your brand name defines everything in one or a few words, perhaps the most important element of them all. It gives customers the perception of who you are, and it is likely the very first impression they have of your brand. With the goal of informing the customer in an impactful way, creating a perfect brand name is no simple feat. There are multiple variables to consider. A brand name is sometimes based on the product function, a family name, specific location, attributes of the industry, or a combination of ideas. If you're able to develop it effectively, your brand could be on its way to becoming a household name. Just like Band-Aid and Kleenex. Who even says, "Can you please hand me an adhesive bandage?" The brand name for that product became more popular than the generic product itself. That is how iconic the Band-Aid name is. Logo. A logo is the visual trademark that can arguably be considered the second most important element. A logo should be just as or more recognizable than the brand name, since images are often remembered easier than words. This can even mean creating a word mark. A word mark is the brand name skillfully designed with branded fonts and colors to be used in place of a designed logo, thus making the brand name the actual logo. Brands like Google and FedEx are great examples of word marks. Why are there so many types of logos? Because there are so many types of brands. Combination mark logos, word mark, letter mark logos, monogram, letter form, symbol or pictorial logos, negative space, and 3D logos, just to name a few. Not all brands or designers are the same, and like most other things in existence, they change. Trends become commonplace, new ideas turn into legacy, and what was once a unique type of logo is now one more on the list. It is also important to design different logo lockups that uphold your brand standard. This means creating different sizes and colors of your logo to be used when the primary logo doesn't fit well on different types of promotional media. Think of Apple. The brand name is simple, and the logo is just as simple. Both elements portray sleekness and simplicity, something the brand embodies well. Apple is a great example of why less is actually more for logos. It is iconic and one of the most recognized brands in the world. Designing and choosing the perfect logo is a fun and creative step during the brand building process. In the end, what matters most is that your brand has a dynamic and meaningful visual representation for the world to recognize who you are and what you do. Colors. Effective colors make for a distinctive brand identity. Certain colors relate certain feelings. Think of the color red. What are some of the words that typically come to mind when you think of red? Excitement, strength, danger, urgency, love, and so on. There's a lot that goes into the psychology of color. Coming up with proper colors for your business means understanding what your brand represents and what demographics you want to appeal to. Think about how iconic DeWalt Tools is with their deep yellow and black, Chewy Pet Supplies with their blue and white, and John Deere's classic green and iconic yellow. Consider Tiffany & Company's Robin Egg Blue, which was in fact trademarked by the company back in 1998. The color is synonymous with luxury and power. If another jewelry brand were to use that color, the same associations would be made, which is exactly why Tiffany's trademarked it. It's uniquely theirs. What are your brand's colors? Typography. The typeface and brand font you choose can be inspired by the style of your logo, or it can be something completely different, but still complementary. Ensure that the typography chosen meshes well with the other elements of your brand, because just like color, fonts can be associated with specific feeling or essence that must match your brand's personality. Serif fonts include short lines on the edge of the letters. Examples are Times New Roman, Georgia, or Garamond. This type of font gives a traditional and formal impression. Sans serif fonts have no such short lines as the serif fonts do. Some of the fonts of this type are Arial, Open Sans, Calibri, Rubato, and more. They have a more modern look and give a more easy-to-read experience, especially for computer screens. Script fonts mimic handwriting styles. They benefit your text with a sense of elegance and sophistication. However, using the script font in the whole body text is a poor choice. Decorative fonts are often informal and diverse, but they're hard to read, so you should use them sparingly and only as an artistic element. Once the font is selected, ensure that it is used on every piece of collateral and material your brand produces. This can be a small detail, like the font used to send an email, or as big as the billboard design next to the highway. Remember, consistency matters. Imagery. Whether you're using stock images or producing your own photography, the images you choose for your marketing and advertising efforts should be consistent and possess similar qualities that connect back to your brand. The brand Yeti does a great job at creating eye-catching and engaging brand imagery for their advertising and online presence. They cohesively present dynamic imagery with their brand colors of cool gray and blue tones, alongside various product colors, making a memorable presentation to their customer base. Shape. This is where marketing design and product design come into play. When in a heavily saturated market, an easy way to distinguish your product from the rest is by producing shapes different than the status quo, and designs that can become distinctively associated to your brand. By innovative thinking and creative designing, your brand can create the gotta have it feeling in customers, making your product highly sought after. An example of effective brand shape could be as classic yet as impactful as Coca-Cola's iconic bottle design, or as cutting edge, like when we saw Apple reinvent the mobile phone by making it sleeker with one screen and no fold. The frenzy that ensued when the first iPhone was released was nothing short of a phenomenon. How is your brand taking shape to make an impact? Graphics. Branded graphics are great to use to complement and reinforce your primary logo. Your customers should recognize them just as much as they do your main logo. This can be done by utilizing the branded color palette or modeling the designs off a specific element of the logo. These graphics are used on all types of marketing and advertising media to enhance the appearance and allow an abundant creation of new material without looking redundant and excessively using the main logo. For example, McDonald's uses their graphics on multiple ways to create dynamic visuals. The graphics clearly represent the overall brand and reinforces their primary logo. Slogan. Develop an impactful word or phrase used to express your brand's position or goal to be achieved. It should be memorable, easy to say, and inform on your brand's personality. You wouldn't want to create a funny catchphrase if your business handles healthcare products and services. That would relay an inappropriate message to your customers, who expect you to be more serious and professional. Slogans like "Tastes so good, cats ask for it by name" from Meow Mix are clever and state why their brand is considered the best, while Coca-Cola's slogan, "Open Happiness," portrays the feelings they want you to have when you purchase and drink their beverage. As your brand evolves throughout the years, the slogan you choose should have the ability to withstand the test of time, but within reason. You shouldn't change your slogan often because that would confuse your customers, but you still need to refresh your image and ensure the slogan remains current with what you stand for and the way your customers perceive you. It's easy to see how important these different components are to a brand's identity. Name, logo, color, typography, imagery, shapes, graphics, and slogans. Each element makes up one piece of the brand identity puzzle, and it's important to be purposeful in considering each element as you develop your specific brand. Execute each one correctly and have a solid identity, positive customer perception, and clear messaging that can benefit your business for years to come.